And welcome back to Inverness in the Spotlight. I'm Bill Cato, and I'm still here with Doug LaBelle, and we're shifting gears to talk about a program for our World War II veterans to honor them called the Honor Flight. And Doug, I understand you've become active in that program, and it's a wonderful program. So if you could please just start out by telling us a little bit about it.
Correct. And whenever I'm talking about Honor Flight, I always wear my hat that says I served my 8 years in the U.S. Air Force and had a year in the combat zone in Southeast Asia. Honor Flight, I became interested in Honor Flight when I saw a newsreel clip from Rotary, and a Rotary club up north sponsored an Honor Flight and helped to organize it. And so that captivated my interest, and I started looking into it. I naturally talked to Barbara Mills from RE/MAX Realty One, because Barbara is known as the Welcome Home lady, Operation Welcome Home, where she gets together care packages, sends them to our troops over serving in Afghanistan and Iraq. And then when they come home, she actually arranges little parties for them at restaurants and things. And she's noted for that. She collects dollars to help accomplish that by being at festivals and things. So she just became a recent Rotarian, and I went over to her and I said, Barbara, I'm interested in Honor Flight. How about you and I get together and we do something with it? She said, great, and we started looking into it. We found out there was a group in Ocala, and there's a group down in the St. Pete area, and the Ocala group only does Marion County. The group down in St. Peter is West Central Florida Honor Flight, and they actually cover a multi-county area. It's been going on for a year and a half or so. We're losing our veterans, our World War II veterans, at the rate of 1,000 to 1,500 a day is the statistics that I hear. And so what we decided to do was not try to reinvent the wheel and have planes come in here, was to go to Ocala, talk to them, see if we could get on their flights, some of our citrus people, and us raise the money to support their program. And the same thing with St. Petersburg, and it turned out we could do both. We just sent 17 of our World War II veterans last Thursday from Ocala. They went up to Washington with a flight of about right around 100 veterans, and the rest of the plane, 60-some, were filled with caregivers, people that helped to get the veterans around. By mid-afternoon, they're pretty tired and they're in wheelchairs and stuff. But it's exciting for them. The criteria is you haven't seen the World War II monument, which was built in 2004.
Right.
And so they go up there, and they are met by generals and congressmen, and they salute them for their days of service. And it's a fascinating thing. I mean, these are people, we wouldn't enjoy the freedoms we enjoy today if these ladies and gentlemen hadn't done what they did.
So they get an opportunity to go up and see the World War II monument with all the other monuments that are up there as well.
Iwo Jima, and they end up at Arlington Cemetery. And that's a very restful, peaceful time. But they're on 3 different buses, red, white, and blue. You're talking about people in their 80s and 90s. Right. And I was talking to one of them the other day, and he flew 36 missions over Germany in a B-17. And he said he only had to ditch one in the water in the Adriatic Sea, and the rest of them he got back home. So it was fascinating. He was 92 years old.
From what I understand, he was one of the fortunate ones.
Yes. And so, and a lot of people have been doing some good things for them here in the community. We have some pictures of them arriving back at the airport. This is in Ocala. This was the flight that went up on Thursday, actually the 27th of October. This is them arriving back. They got to the airport that morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock. They're arriving back now around 10:30, and they're being escorted down, and then they go. There was 2,000 or 3,000 people there at that airport waiting to welcome them. There were bands and there were singers. This is our group. It's not all of them, but it's all Citrus County people that had gone up there that day, and there was a husband and wife team, the two in the white hats on the right-hand side. Barbara Mills, you can see there on the right-hand side of the screen as well. But that's them getting back after about 12 to 14 hours of being away. This is Patty Grumling, and Patty's father went, so she was there to greet him when she came. She said he was so thrilled, and I've talked to her since. She says he's talking about it for days, how much it meant to him that somebody cared. So, and then Angelo from Angelo's Pizzeria, he's got one downtown on the square, and he's got a second location out on Essex and 486. And Angelo stepped up and said, I want to invite them all to come to an early dinner or late lunch at my place for free. And so all 17 of them came out. We took this picture outside. The Angelo's in the center in the orange, but next to him, the blonde young lady, is Jessica Kemsteak. She's from Holland. She's an exchange student that's here for a year. And she asked me if she could go along to thank them for freeing her country. And they were absolutely thrilled. I mean, not a dry eye in the house.
And that's a really big picture of the impact that what these men and women did for our country. And
oh, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, Nancy Kennedy from the Chronicle was there and quoted her in an article in the Chronicle about that you know, that she is enjoying the freedom she has today because of the sacrifices that these men and women made. We're always in need of money. We had to suspend the flights now for the year. We had some snow the other day on one of the last flight on the 29th of October. Some of them couldn't get out of the buses to go up to the monuments because it's slippery. Right. So we suspended flights until next April. Next April, we intend to escalate the flights out of the Clearwater St. Petersburg Airport every 2 to 3 weeks. And so we need to raise a lot of money. It's about $400 per veteran to cover their cost of the flight and the buses. And McDonald's has been gracious enough to donate breakfast, and Arby's has donated lunches. But we give them nice hats that are commemorative about Honor Flight and other things. So it's about $400 a veteran. And then the caregivers, veterans don't pay for anything. Right. And the caregivers that go along to help, they pay their own way. And we have a waiting list of caregivers that want to pay their own $400
in order to be able to go help these folks.
Yeah, to pay honor to these folks. So it's a great program. We'll love any capital city bank, and of the 5 of them that are in Citrus County, you can drop off a check for a Citrus County Honor Flight, go through the drive-through window, go inside, give it to the teller, or you can mail it to their office in Inverness, 1500 North Highway, US Highway 41 in Inverness. You can mail it to that branch. And if you want to get a hold of us, you can call the station here, and they'll give them my cell phone.
I was going to say, if there's a veteran or a family member that wants to make an application to get on,
have them contact us. I'll have Barbara get them the application so we can get them on a flight early next year.
That would be great. Well, Doug, thank you for coming on and telling us about this wonderful program, Honor Our Veterans. And for you, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our show for this week. Please stay tuned next week for Inverness in the Spotlight.